Hello, my name is Frannie Miller, and I am the Pesticide Safety and Integrated Pest Management Coordinator for Kansas State University. In this module, we are focusing on pesticide application. It is important that you understand how to properly apply pesticides and how the pesticides work. This module will also focus on the types of application equipment available. This is the fourth module contained within the Pesticide Use and Safety Training. This module will teach the names and uses of various types of application equipment and advantages and disadvantages of each. It will also teach you where to find the mixing instructions and when and how to apply pesticides for the best results. The label contains information on when to apply this herbicide. In order to achieve the best results, use this product when weeds are actively growing and the temperature is above 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Also apply when the air is calm to prevent drift to desirable plants. In order for products to work effectively, it is important the application covers all of the plant surfaces. This allows the pest to come in contact with the insecticide, so proper application is important. It is important to read the label prior to application. The label gives mixing instructions which need to be followed. In this case, it is important to know what type of lawn you are applying the product to, because the application rates vary. Also be sure to pay attention to the information on when to apply. This label tells you how to mix the product based on what type of application equipment you will be using. It is important to realize products containing glyphosate will kill most types of plants and grasses, so do not apply on plants you want to live. Also, it is important to know what the active ingredient is in the product you are using, since the packaging looks so similar on many products. Note that any food utensil, such as measuring spoons and measuring cups, should not be used for food purposes after using for mixing a pesticide. This is a good way to be exposed orally to the pesticide. It is important to note that not all products are compatible with each other. Captan should not be used with or closely with oil sprays, as there is a greater likelihood of burning the plants. It is also important to keep this product agitated during application. The amount of spray also may vary based on the size of the tree or plant, so read the label before application. When determining area, it is important to calculate it as closely as possible to the actual size, or you may end up applying either too little or too much of a product. In this case, it is estimated the area is 1,800 square feet. If you use the correct method and draw shapes that are closer to the actual size, then you would have actually had an area of 1,200 square feet. When making a pesticide application, it is important to determine the area and what product and formulation you are using. Also, what type of application equipment do you have available? Using the label, you need to calculate how much product should be applied to the area. Be sure to use the recommended settings or to calibrate the equipment if needed. In the next section, we will focus on types of application equipment. Ready-to-use products often are packaged with a hose-in sprayer or trigger sprayer to make application easy for homeowners. When using a concentrate plus water type hose-in sprayer, you add the ounces of pesticide, So let's say you need 8 ounces for 4 gallons of spray. Then you would need to add water until it reaches the 4-gallon mark. On a dial type hose and sprayer, you would add enough pesticide for the gallons to be sprayed. Then set the dial to the recommended rate so the product is applied correctly. The soil drench method allows you to mix the product and pour either around the base of a tree or to the ground. This type of application is common for systemic insecticides, which need to be translocated up the tree, or for soil sterilants. Handheld and backpack sprayers are common types of application equipment for homeowners. It is important to mark the herbicide sprayer to make sure it is never used for insecticides or fungicides. A trombone sprayer can be used for applications to trees. It is important to get good coverage, so you need an applicator that produces a lot of pressure. Be sure to wear personal protective equipment when spraying trees, because what goes up must come down. If you need to calibrate your equipment, then use water. Measure out a representative area on a driveway or other impervious surface of 1,000 square feet. Then spray the area uniformly with water and record the amount of time it took. Next, spray into a bucket for the same amount of time and measure the water to find out the amount of spray needed for 1,000 square feet. Place the recommended amount of pesticide per 1,000 square feet into the application device. For dry applications, such as granulars or fertilizer, you can either use a drop spreader or a whirligig spreader, as featured in these pictures. A drop spreader is relatively easy to calibrate because the product drops straight down, making it easy to catch. This spreader takes more time to apply than when using a whirligig spreader. You have to be really careful when using this spreader, as skips really stand out. In order to reduce skips, you need to go over the area 2 times, going in multiple directions. When you make the turns too wide, it will result in skips. A whirligig spreader is more difficult to calibrate since the granulars are thrown out in an arc. It is easier to avoid skips due to the overlap and allows for application to be done quicker. If you do it correctly, you will only have to go over the area 1 time. The easiest way for small areas is to measure the amount of fertilizer needed for the area, then set the spreader low and go over the area in different directions until the product runs out. If you mix the herbicide too strong, it may cause the plant to die before the product is translocated to the roots. It may also just burn off the tops of the perennial plants, but the weed will come back from the root. Pesticides which contain surfactants may burn the cuticle of the leaf if applied using an excess rate. It is important to note that more of a product is not necessarily better. Use the labeled rate. When applying pesticides, wear the appropriate personal protective equipment to protect yourself. Follow the label directions to help avoid drifting on non-target plants. It is best to apply pesticides early in the morning or late evening because it helps to protect pollinators. Also, avoid spraying during the heat of the day when products are more prone to volatilization or vaporization. Products may not be as effective when applied when temperatures are too hot. A tip and pour allows you to store and precisely measure the chemicals in one container. No need to use other measuring tools. Just tip so the product fills the measuring area, and if you get too much, you can just tip back the other way. If you're using for multiple products, rinse the container or just purchase multiple containers. If you store product in these containers, make sure you label what product it is. A spread right is a quick, easy, and precise tool used to spread granular herbicides, insecticides, or fungicides. This tool is helpful when reaching around or under trees, shrubs, pools, or fences. It is important to store pesticides in their original labeled container. Many products look like food or drink and can be confused with these products if they don't have a label. These products should be kept out of the reach of children, preferably in a locked storage cabinet. Also, it is important to protect products from environmental extremes such as freezing. Freezing can cause products to settle out into layers and make it ineffective. In this instance, it says to not store the product where temperatures frequently exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It is important to pay attention to this because many people store products in their garages where it may get hot or really cold. Read the storage and disposal information on the label. In the state of Kansas, we do not allow burning of containers, so you need to choose another disposal option. Pesticide containers should be triple rinsed before disposing of them in the landfill or recycling them. The diagram gives an illustration of what it means to triple rinse. Basically, you fill the container halfway with water, then dump into the tank, repeating for a total of 3 times. Then the container should be punctured to make sure that no one else can use the container for an unattended use. The label also contains information regarding the warranty of the product and risks associated with its use. Simply put, the buyer assumes all responsibility for safety and use of the product, if not used in accordance with the directions. Make sure you properly identify the pest before selecting a control measure. Then select the appropriate pesticide based on what pest and crop you will be using the product on. Only purchase the amount of product you need. Be sure to read and follow the label. It is important to use the rate listed on the label and time the applications when the weed or insect is the most susceptible. Be responsible when using any type of pesticide. Drift to non-target plants can result in death or injury of desirable plants, so be careful when using broadleaf weed killers. It is important to pay attention to weather conditions, as some products are less effective when applied at higher temperatures. Before you apply any pesticide, be sure you understand how the products work. Improper placement of the product can result in runoff and contamination of the groundwater, or it can burn the desired vegetation. For this reason, it is important to have an understanding of how these products move in the soil and water. Now we will focus on the different types of herbicides. A contact herbicide is one that kills the green tissue that it touches. For these products, it is important for the application to reach all of the plant tissue. A translocated herbicide moves from the point of application up into the vascular system of the plant. A selective herbicide kills one specific type of plants, such as 2,4-D kills broadleaf plants, while a non-selective herbicide will kill all the plants that it touches, such as Roundup. A pre-emergence herbicide is one that kills weeds as they germinate. Pre-emergent herbicides are usually aimed at killing crabgrass or other annual grasses. These products need rain or irrigation to activate the products. They will not affect plants that have already emerged prior to the application. Examples of pre-emergent herbicides include Barricade, Dimension, Pendimethalin, and Dacthal. Post-emergent herbicides are most effective on small, actively growing weeds. For these products to work, it is best to avoid rainfall for 12 to 24 hours after application. These products are usually used to control broadleaf weeds. Examples of post-emergent weed killers include 2,4-D, Weed Be Gone, Trimec, Turf. Contact insecticides kill the insect when they come in contact with the spray. It is important to apply these products under leaves and in areas where the insect will most likely live. Insecticides that are formulated as stomach poisons have to be ingested by the insect to be effective. It is important to have these products applied in areas where insects are feeding. Examples of stomach poisons include products containing Bacillus thuringiensis, commonly referred to as BT, and dipel dust. A systemic insecticide is translocated within the plant and kills the insect when the pest feeds on the plant. An example would be products containing imidacloprid. Products may be labeled with the words systemic insect control. Additional pesticide-related information can be obtained from the National Pesticide Information Center. NPIC provides science-based information about products, pesticide products, toxicology, and chemistry of the products. You can visit their website at http://npic.orst.edu or by calling 1-800-858-7378.